that's a little too wide because you don't see enough of yourself. There's better like that. See, Calvin, the whole trick to this is there are no rules. So if you just so back to your gold mine thing. The first database thing you did was there, but so where's the first computer experience? What kind? How old were you?
First computer experience. That would be working for my uncle. And so my uncle was a photographer and a videographer. He did weddings. And so, you know, all this stuff looks familiar to me because I worked for him for a long time. And he got into desktop publishing because he was taking pictures that were being used in catalogs. And so, like, he did wolf ranges and stuff like that. And, you know, he would basically sell them on the idea of, you know, let me build your catalog for you. So he was doing catalogs, and he was basically helping me get set up with a computer so that I could help him, you know, cut out parts and do little graphics work and things like that. So I was basically working for him doing all these different types of computer tasks. And he was he was a musician, and I was taking piano lessons. And so as I was taking piano lessons, I got a MIDI keyboard, a Roland, and a Roland U20.
Did you have a Mac though to do the MIDI?
No, what was the funny thing was that I had an IBM 286 with Cakewalk on it, and we were basically building. I basically was able to sync all my stuff up, and then what I recognized was that I was better at fixing the MIDI and the cables and syncing everything up than I was at actually playing the piano. And that was sort of what started the computer thing. And so I just, you know, and I was a kid and wasn't going out and drinking or doing anything like that. So I was staying at home playing with my computer, you know, being nerd boy, and I just got better at it. And then I got the first job where I was on payroll doing light networking stuff. That had basically revived. This company had a network, but as they replaced each computer, the network was no longer functioning.
Now, was that TCP/IP, NetBIOS, Microsoft LAN manager type stuff?
Yeah. And so there was a company, I can't remember what they were called, but they had like a third-party networking solution or whatever. So I plugged in all that stuff and got their network revived, and got the printers networked, and got the one computer would dial it on the internet, and they could all share that internet connection. So I got that working. And then there was that scenario where I got the 25-cent raise. I was only, I was working half, basically 20 hours a week at minimum wage, so I forgot what it comes out to, but it was like $60 or $80 a week, you know, barely paying for the gas to go out there and, you know, cigarettes and lunch and stuff. So I got a newspaper after I recognized that they're not going to make me a career person. They were an environmental company, so unless I was going to go into the environmental world and clean out, you know, toxic tanks for $12 an hour, I had no potential to make money. So I got a newspaper, and I was looking for help wanted ads, and Goldmine had there that they were looking for people.
So did you sneak your way in? Did they figure you could learn on the job? What was the deal with that?
Well, the way that they were hiring people was very interesting. So they were bringing people in to fill out a written questionnaire, and you fill out the written part, and that was just to weed people out. So they would ask you questions like, you get a general protection fault, how do you troubleshoot it? The modem doesn't work, what are some things, just to weed out the people who had no business being there. And once they got that done, what basically was happening is that they would bring you in for an interview, and they would just basically hire you, and they would give you the software. They give you a single user Goldmine, and you had to take it home, and you had to learn it in 1 week. And then they brought you back to take a test. And if you passed the test, you could basically, you had the job. And so what happened was that I took the software home, I played with it on my uncle's computer, and I learned it, did everything, and then I went back and I failed the test. And I looked at the guy who was interviewing me, and I said, I'll work for free until I figure it out. And he goes, no, you don't need to do that, we'll let you come back a second time and do it. So I came back a second time, and I was almost going to fail it again. And the guy who was interviewing me, he said, when in doubt, right click, because I couldn't find something in Goldmine, and all I needed to do was right mouse click. And so what he did was he went in and he said, when in doubt, right click, and I right clicked and I found the answer and I got the job. But it sort of, even from that point, I recognized that I didn't know nearly as much about computers as I thought I did.
But Calvin, we talked about this before. A lot of people learn the state of the art without the foundation of why it works that way, and they can't get anything done. It's far more important to people to know what they're doing in technology that somebody can figure something out.
Yeah.